Before I start down that fun conspiratorial path, though, I'd just like to point out um, where oil is priced at in December of 2026, right? So you have oil futures, all commodities. There's really no like set price for a commodity, right? It's usually just kind of when you buy it. I'm just curious, where do you think oil is? Don't look. What does the market think the price of oil is at December 2026 right now?
40% higher.
So what?
140.
So 140. Alex,
120.
80. It's pricing it at $80. So basically, the market is pricing that this conflict will be resolved and will settle probably well before December. But the kind of the baseline for the price of oil will be quite a bit higher, right? So before this conflict started at the beginning of February, end of January, it was $60 a barrel. So if you think about it, 60 to 80, that's a pretty big price increase to like with no conflict and no problems whatsoever. Just if you look at it from that perspective, that's not really great for that's not a great setup for like equities, for inflation, right? If the no risk, there's no conflict, there's no world problems, but now the base level price of energy is that much higher in a year. Bad for inflation, bad for Fed rate cuts. Kind of not constructive, I think, as just like on a baseline. Anyway, so that's to me is where you should start and then maybe project out, like, because that's like if everything good happens, right? If the conflict ends today or whenever soonish and things can return to a baseline, $80 a barrel. As to what's happening here, I'm going to put on my what's it called?
Tinfoil hat.
My Zehan,
Peter
Zehan, global strategist, monitoring the situation, PhD, CIA hat. Really, it's really hard for me. And again, I'm an American, so I'm very biased. It's hard to imagine that this can go badly, like really badly for America. Maybe for the reputation of America, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really put that much weight in kind of things like that, right? So America is the number one oil producer, so that'll be good. We have Canada, who is going to be the 51st state, so they'll start producing more oil because of this, and they're already kind of hinting at it, being forced to do that. That's a good thing long term. We have two oceans separating ourselves from any real enemies. Our sphere of influence in the Americas has pretty much been cemented with Venezuela, and Cuba's probably next and something like that. So just in terms of security standpoint, it looks pretty good. Who are the biggest losers from this? Like, even if it ends today, or let's say it gets worse, who are the biggest losers? Well, definitely Asia. And then within Asia, China. We're not like the best friends with them, so that's not bad for the U.S. It's probably bad for Russia, right? I don't know if you guys have seen any of the info coming out, right? But do you know where Russia was getting their drones, right? And they're not getting those drones anymore from Iran. Russia's shadow fleet. I don't know if you saw this info for the past 3 weeks. It was ever since the Ukraine war broke out, the EU was doing what they do best, which is talking, and doing nothing else. We're going to sanction oil from Russia. We're going to stop it. This is not happening. None of it was sanctioned. None of it stopped. Not a single drop was prevented. Well, now it has, for the first time ever. 3 weeks ago, you had, I think, the Danes. They confiscated a tanker from Russia. 2 weeks ago, it was like Norway or something, and then last week I think it was the French. So they're finally being forced to deal with like this Russian shadow fleet. So that's probably not great for Russia. It's good for the EU to finally have to do something about it instead of just talking. And bad for Asia, right? It's bad for Japan, probably bad for China. Um, it's the longer this goes on, it'll be bad for Trump. Really, 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 really bad for him, right? Because of inflation in the U.S., it's going to kind of torpedo the economy.